And it is this broad sweep of ingredients that makes Carnival the target of so many interests, because Carnival offers everybody a gig. At the heart of it, there used to be religion. And by religion, I mean those faith-based ritualistic mechanisms for survival which address mystery. Carnival is located in the various media which access the powerful supramundane forces which seem to people, and have always seemed to people, to make the difference between life and death. It is arguable that today's religion calls itself technology, and its masquerades are perhaps differently focused. But the intermediaries are as numerous, as all-encompassing, and as all-invasive as they have ever been. It is in this regard that we must look for words like policy and development, because this is where they are located. Now, of course, everybody knows what a policy is. Everybody uses the word, everybody claims the necessity for it. In the arts, it enjoys considerable popularity, a popularity which today seems to be on the increase. Typically, a policy is a principle or a role which guides decisions with the intention of achieving rational outcomes. But policy doesn't describe what is actually done. Policy deals with the whats and the whys and the hows of the doing, not with the doing itself. Now, this is very inelegant language, but I really want to make myself clear. A policy may be described as being a statement of intent, and it may arise out of or be applied to individuals, to organizations, to institutions. For example, if we wanted a policy about music, now for Carnival, and we wanted to understand that Carnival is to make money, we have to have plenty of people, we have to have a big truck with a lot of loud sound systems on it, a little pan rack wouldn't work. The policy, therefore, would give rise to the big truck and against the small pan rack. On the other hand, as we pursue this big truck idea in the road, we have to remember that the EME has policies regarding acceptable levels of noise. And so Carnival music, like the rest of the masquerade of life, necessarily involves a contest for space. So far, policy and development are easy enough to understand. But Carnival, multicultural policy development may be a somewhat harder stretch. We've already established what the Carnival is and what it is not, and we know that despite similarities, neither Chinese dragon boat race nor a Baptist street corner meeting are Carnival. The fact is that we know them for what they are, but we pass in and out of them, whether in approval, denunciation, as participants, or as opportunists. But for good or ill, these manifestations of our life ways, or our cultures, if you prefer that word, are an integral part of the tapestry of life, and nobody escapes. The Cuban anthropologist Ortiz, in his famous book Cuban Counterpoint, talks about transculturalism. And as we all know, the word culture has been subjected to an extremely wide range of prefixes and suffixes. But the Ortiz transculturalism suggests that we all inhabit a range of cultures through which we pass, back and forth, again and again. Sometimes we are affected by them, sometimes they affect us. But culture, like that substance in a test tube in which organisms grow, cultures maintain their fundamental, essential integrity. There is no need, therefore, it is my contention this morning, to search for confusing nomenclature for describing a reality which is as timeless as life itself. The girl who is winding down the back of her band on Tuesday in the mass is going to change back into her bank uniform Wednesday morning. But first of all, she puts on a layer of makeup, and upon this layer of makeup, the priest will put his ashes. It is just clear to me that it may not be necessary to complicate this naturally complex thing with multiculturalism or similar large word. And in this regard, the word becomes mass if it is rubber talk. But yet, ladies and gentlemen, like any big mass, we are obliged to take note of the word if only because it is now so fashionable. These times find themselves challenged far more intensely by demography than they ever were. Communication, or at least on the face of it, has never been more prevalent. It's never been easier. And what has come with it is a recognition that one size does not fit all. All across the planet, the politically astute have been quick to make capital of it. And I even read somewhere of a plan to make people in Malaysia into some kind of single unified, somebody got it off the computer, a unified Malaysian people by 2020. The notion is not new. Alexander the Great tried very hard to transform his vast, newly conquered empire into a single Persian-style superculture to no avail. Indeed, I got out the election manifesto of the present government, which expressly writes, I quote-unquote, rights of a cultural environment that frees up our people for creative expression, strengthens national identity without in any way stifling individual expression and diversity, quote-unquote. But this, of course, is always easier said than done when artistic patronage and government money are perceived to be unfairly distributed. And it will almost always be so perceived because we are always living in a this is we time now time. It always is. But money, my friends, is not going to create talent. Money is not going to create gift. And money has never yet been the author of wisdom. And yet it is in this mistaken regard that the current popularity of multiculturalism in today's landscape is located. But it is no more than a shibboleth, from which no new harm need come, provided that we understand it for what it is. And if we can accept this kind of prosaic common sense approach to analysis, then we can safely return to our theme, Carnival and multicultural policy development, without fear, without grief. We know Carnival for what it is, timeless, global, universal. We also understand multicultural, transcultural, and all those convenient little divisions which make the world so conveniently and so dangerously manageable. For example, you cut it up into small pieces you can't control. Words like policy and development are embedded therein. Should we worry about any of this? I think not. Therefore I say, to all here, long live the Carnival, and all who participate in it, surely it is, if nothing else, the mask of life. Thank you, Shakespeare. Thank you. Thank you.